What up, DFS Brutas? Dean here, Dean 7904. Did I mispronounce that? I saw
Brada. Brada. Come on,
so
brada.
you typed that in chat.
Like a Hawaiian, brada.
Brada. Oh, that's Brada. Okay, all right. I was like, what's a Bruta? But I figured Chop was on top of things. You know what's going on. But yeah, Brada. Okay, yeah, like brother. Okay, gotcha. Are we live? Oh, we're doing it. We're gonna do it live. We're still live. We're still doing it. Yeah, it's GrindersLive. We're here for the next 2 hours. 2 hours of nonstop MLB DFS conversation, taking you all the way up to lock. Myself, returning champion head chopper. You got us for the next hour and 15 minutes and change, give or take, until crunch time comes in. Dave Potts, two-time millionaire winner. Cheeseisgood, as well as Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, Juggalo Nation. TJ Zwarych will be holding it down as well. 10 games as far as baseball. It is a television Tuesday, Chop. I know you love Television Tuesday. If you like Movie Monday, you're going to love Television Tuesday. We can go ahead and drop that first clue for the people that are here early. Give somebody a shot to bink it. Sure, why not? Get yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. Be the first person to tell me what TV show I'm talking about in the Discord channel. That's rotogrinders.com/Discord live stream chat channel. Most of our Discord channels are free. You just need like a standard free RotoGrinders sign in. Get in there and tell me who or what television show I'm talking about. With the first clue, Chop, the first clue is Sun. Sun is the first clue. I know Chop likes to play his own side game. It is not, I'll tell the people, I'll cross off a TV show. It's not Survivor, which is Chop's guess. I was thrown off. I saw in chat somebody said that I am the Ricky Gervais of DFS hosts, and that's really, I mean, I assume they mean that as a compliment. That's that's a spectacular compliment. Once upon a time, Ricky Gervais, many years ago, had the most popular podcast. Like many years ago, before Rogan, he was one of the first people. But that's an insult to Ricky Gervais to compare me to him. But thank you. I think you meant that positively. But yeah, Chop, 10 games for baseball tonight. Toronto, they doubled up on their team total last evening. If you didn't have any Blue Jays, probably was a tough scene for you. It was a tough scene for me. I did not have enough Blue Jays. And also my pitcher stunk too. But besides that, it was kind of a disaster all around. It was the laptop early evening. I think all my pitchers got hurt or left the game by like the third inning or so. At least a large collection of them happened to. Both pitchers in the Cincinnati-Chicago game exited pretty early. But we're right back at it. Chop, same sort of deal, right? The Toronto's back in Colorado. I think one thing that's really important to stress in this game, Toronto in Colorado, unless something has changed, unless they've called up somebody that I'm not aware of, just two lefties in that Colorado bullpen, and both of them worked pretty hard last night. So I anticipate all right-handed pitchers from Colorado. So I feel pretty good about the pinch hit risk here for Toronto, meaning I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I want to see if they called somebody up, but I don't think so. I think their entire bullpen essentially is their right-handers. I think they have a couple lefties. They both threw at least 40, 42, 43 pitches last night. One also worked the previous day, so they're probably not going to throw them out there 3 days in a row. So, the chalk looks even a little bit better for guys like, Nathan Lukes probably sticks around. Lopafito probably sticks around. Only team, of course, with a 7 total, only team with a 6 total. There's a couple, at least one, right? The Dodgers are taking on Michaelis, he's a strike thrower. He's not going to walk you. Max Muncy is back. Didn't do anything last night, but he is back, and it seems like a good pitcher for him to attack from the left side, as well as Shohei Ohtani, which is a spectacular pivot away from the Toronto big spends. Are you tapping your mic, Chop?
Is this thing on?
It is on, yes. Am I going long on my opener? Is that what's happening? Do you want to jump in here? Want me to give me your you're cutting me off? Is like the Oscars? So you're playing me off here.
Well, I was just gonna say you're jumping right into we didn't get the pleasantries. We didn't get no pleasantries, man.
Do you want pleasantries? We can do pleasantries.
Yeah,
What's on your mind?
I had a topic on my mind, dude. I had something I wanted to tell you, man.
Oh, go ahead.
Before we got into all the deep dive here, which we got plenty of time for that. We got all day.
Knockers.
I barely made it. I don't know if you saw what time I logged in for the show, Dean. I logged in 1 minute before the time it was supposed to crank up. I barely made it, Dean.
Were you stuck in traffic?
No, Dean. I played a little hooky today and went to the $5 movies down the street with my boys. We went to go see a little Fantastic Four. They go Tuesdays is $5 day. $5
Okay.
ticket. Can't beat that.
I thought you were gonna say Naked Gun, but okay, you saw Fantastic Four.
They wanted to see Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I did too, so it's all good. Yeah, the wife couldn't make, she had to work, and my daughter didn't want to go, so it's just the boys' night, a boys' afternoon out, man, with a little.
It was $5 to get in the door, but how much did it really cost you?
Well, the thing is I hit up a little
CVS
Five Below right beforehand, and got some Reese's, got some M&Ms, Butterfingers,
heavy pockets,
yeah, all that kind of stuff, So yeah, it didn't really cost very much, but can't beat the $5 Tuesday, man.
It's pretty sweet. You don't have you never considered is it AMC, like $25 you can watch 3 or 4 movies a week, as many movies as you want?
No,
for the month.
They don't have that no more.
Yeah, it's like it's like $28 for the month. It's amazing.
Yeah, I looked that up. Didn't they used to have
stadium seating?
No, what was that thing they used to have, and then they did away with it? You were probably a member of it.
It was the company that went under. Yeah, and I know what you're thinking about. This is the same concept, except AMC was doing it. I think they still are.
Okay, I'll take a look at it.
Look into it. If you use it, if you go twice a month, it's worth it.
Yeah, we're some movie going peoples. We like the movies. But so you're AMC. But you got me on AMC. See, AMC's not down the street. AMC's a much longer drive. Down the street is Santikos. Santikos is down the street.
I don't know Santikos.
You never heard of Santikos Theaters?
Is that a local chain that I'm not aware of?
Nah, it's got to be. I know the chat can help me out. Santikos is like a nationwide, right? It's got to be. They got all the good theaters, man.
I'm not sure. I'll have to give it a Google, I suppose.
Give it a little Google. Santikos. Yeah, no Santikos in Dallas. I don't know if y'all are spelling it the right way.
Let us know if you've heard of Santikos. The chat does not know what you're talking about, just so you know. Several people in chat are saying it's not in their area. Not in Jersey or Maryland or Tennessee.
Wait a minute. Okay, let me check it out.
Yeah, I don't know if we have to halt the show completely, but I'm pretty sure it's just a
Santikos Entertainment. Oh, okay. So Santikos Entertainment is not nationwide. It is a Texas-based chain with theaters primarily located in San Antonio and surrounding areas. That's
so literally just your city.
No, well, it says including some in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. So I guess down south.
Okay.
But a lot of them in San. That's weird, man. I didn't know that because it's such a good chain. Such a good chain. You got the recliners and the AVX and $5 Tuesdays and the bowling alley in the theater, the bar in the theater, arcade in the, the whole works, man. It's the restaurant, you order the food, you can order the food to the seat if you want. It's a great chain, man. I can't believe get the privilege of having one. There's not even nationwide, and I get the privilege of having one 5 minutes down the street from my house. That's what a blessing I have in life, man.
Yeah.
I can ditch out on a little afternoon work and go hit the movies with the boys. What a blessing this life is, Dean.
So the people are waiting. They want your review of Fantastic Four.
It was good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat things. I thought Fantastic Four was it flew by. I was worried because the show, I knew I was up against it, so I was kind of clock watching, but it flew by. It got by. That hour and a half flew by real quick. It had a good side, no real dead spots in it. Nothing drug on. A little bit of humor, a little bit of action. It was solid, man. I'll definitely be watching again when it comes to streaming.
So I did a quick Google. AMC $27.99 apparently, depending on where you're at. $25.99 or $27.99 is your monthly. It's called the A-list for AMC, and you get to go, I think, 3 or 4 times a week if you want, up to. So theoretically, you can watch, 12 movies a month for $27 if that's what you want to do. But just go a couple times, and it's worth it. So I'm not a member currently, but I was for a while, and it was spectacular. If you use it, it's worth it. All right. Tonight's slate chop. Again, it's sort of a repeat of last night. You got Toronto and some other teams that may compete with Toronto. And again, I think it's a big point that pretty good chance we see no lefties here for Colorado. Their bullpen, the 2 lefties, worked pretty hard last night. No Toronto lineup just yet. It is a later game, so no surprise there. Some pretty good pitching as well on this slate, Chop. Garrett Crochet, I would say, is leading the pack. Biggest K rate, smallest Sierra. He throws the second most pitches per start in all of baseball, right behind Phillies' Zach Wheeler. I was pointing at you, but I thought I was trying. That was me saying.
Oh, I was reading the chat. I wasn't looking at the visuals.
We have great chemistry, the two of us. Yeah, that's what I was pointing at you because I thought you'd be on top of it. But yeah, Garrett Crochet, biggest K rate, lowest Sierra, probably the best as far as upside. Kansas City, middle of the road, pretty mediocre. Wu is consistent. He's like solid, great ballpark. Should keep the ball in the ballpark against the White Sox, but the K rate is not spectacular. Yu Darvish, we finally saw a great start out of him. I shouldn't say finally because he's old and what do you expect out of him? He was awesome last time out, and he's just really cheap. He's probably like the de facto SP2 if you need some salary on DK. Nathan Eovaldi just gets no respect. He's been like amazing this year, like ridiculous this year. I feel like I haven't rostered him enough either. Aaron Judge expected back for the Yankees. Do we have a Yankees lineup? I assume we have it, and he's in it. Nope, not just yet, but that's the expectation, is that Judge is coming back tonight, which will certainly bolster it, make a little bit more tough for Eovaldi to get past. Other options, Freddie Peralta's pretty good against Atlanta. We talked about that back half of that lineup is really rough these days. Imanaga, the Ks aren't great. He has a home run issue, but the home run issue should be subdued by the ballpark tonight in Wrigley because winds are blowing in. Not a ton, but enough where it's worth acknowledging. See what Weather Edge has to say. I know it was looking good earlier from a pitching perspective. Yeah, so 8 miles per hour, wind basically coming from dead center. In 183 games, a 19% decrease in homers. In similar weather games, 7% decrease in runs. So Imanaga is not amazing, but you're getting a bit of a price discount too. And Cincinnati's not a scary lineup. Ballpark shift for them too, negative, jumping out of the small park there in Cincy. Your overview, Chop, your screenshot, how are we seeing tonight's slate?
Yep. Just kind of like, let's just, we could almost use the AI and put on the video from yesterday and just run the whole show again. It's like, Toronto, I'm going to be on them. They're chalky. I don't care. They're probably going to score a lot of runs. They have a really good opportunity to score. Crazy in today's day and age of baseball that you would say a team has a fairly decent chance to score double-digit runs, but that's where they are. It's just because of everything the Rockies are bringing to the table pitching-wise and weather. So, there's that. You fill in with some other hitters. We'll figure that out. And then the pitching is one guy is chalk. There's a few guys in the elite range, just like yesterday. They're all playable. And then you can save some money. And that's, honestly, yeah, my pitching, I was all over Toronto, as a lot of people were. Pitching absolutely buried me last night. Not going to lie. That was the thing. If you got your pitching right, you were golden, and you stuck with Toronto. So tonight, maybe we get, a better shot out of pitching here, and some of these guys who are supposed to be good live up to the hype, and they don't leave the game early with injuries and all that other stuff, and we can avoid all that. And if you can nail your pitching to go along with the Toronto, listen, I know we say Toronto as a stack, and if you're in GPPs and are running more than like 20 lineups, you're going to have probably a piece of the whole lineup at some point, But like if you're running one lineup or 3 lineups or something like that, last night it was imperative that it wasn't just the stack, it was getting Bichette in that. Like if you did a stack of Toronto all over, but you didn't have Bichette, you're probably still cooked. I don't know if anybody equals that kind of performance, but somebody will have a really good one in that lineup. You just got to have that guy in that stack, and hopefully you get lucky on that front, and then you hit your pitching. So that's what I'm looking at. Figure out Toronto, throw Toronto at a wall, see what sticks, and then pitching, going back to the well with an expensive guy, a cheap guy, and mix and match and see if we can do some damage.
So my main lineup, I focus on like the 121 on DK, the single entry, and just the way people build lineups, they're a little bit different. They're less likely to get goofy. Many times it's essentially like their cash lineup or their cash with a few manipulations, that kind of thing. People just don't like to get too ballsy in it. And, like a dope, I played Alejandro Kirk and he was 48%, 48% owned, chopping. Like any hitter is 48%, unless they're like 2K, I think it's a bad play. And I think he's probably going to be 48% again tonight in that contest. And one of the things I want to try to do is not play him in that contest because, if you're playing cash games 100%, assuming he cracks the lineup, you're going to put Kirk in your cash game lineup on DK, not a necessity on FanDuel. But that's one of the things I'm trying to do different tonight. It's not just, okay, fade him. It's you got to, beat him too. And we'll talk about that later on. But I think Hunter Goodman is trying to find the salary for someone like Hunter Goodman is one of my goals for the slate. But we do live the lower salary cap. So it's going to be a little tricky. Chop, trying to find some salary savers. And, it might be Jock Peterson time possibly to open things up. But I don't know if you saw this. Did you happen to catch, was it the Yankees? Did you catch the Yankees booth? They were fat shaming him. I don't know if you
they were what?
They were fat shaming him.
Because he was, he is. I mean, I was noticing that about Jock. He's gained a little weight. He's like, he don't care very much about his physique anymore, but that's okay. Good for him. He smashed it in their face last night.
Well, he hit the homer in the bottom of the ninth inning, and then they hit a 3-run walk off. Was it Young? And off another one of their newly acquired pitchers.
Jock got him a little 1-out, nobody on, game tying home run off your closer, who's not been good this Devin Williams. I don't know what happened to him, but Jock got him. So Jock got the last laugh. If Jock doesn't do that, they don't walk it off in the next inning. So
this is why you don't feature any Yankees in your knocker blockers. The Yankees bullpen has been
what, Dean?
Sketchy.
No spoilers here. Maybe a spoiler. Today's knocker might be a former Yankee.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. I'm intrigued. Okay. I'm trying to figure out who it is, but maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe the chat will figure it out. They'll probably beat me to it. But, pitching-wise, how are you approaching this slate? Oh, do you want to take a peek as far as the Discord? Has anybody correctly guessed my TV show today? I'd be very upset if somebody gets it on one. It is not Monk or Teletubbies or Miami Vice. Third Rock from the Sun is a good guess. It's not that, though. Or Yellow Jackets, Always Sunny. Another good guess. I don't think we have any. I don't know. What is Sailor Moon? Should I know what that is? Is that a kid show? I don't know what Sailor Moon is, but it's not that.
Doesn't sound familiar, Dean. But I do. I'm going to get to your pitching. I'm going to start. You want me to get to some pitching, Dean? You want me to get to some pitching?
There it is. It's on the screen. That's
Before we get to the pitching, Dean, I do want to give you a little review, a little critical review of a show I'm watching. I'm on episode 6 of 8. So no spoilers if anybody's seen it. Man, I'll tell you what, Dean, Apple TV comes out with some phenomenal shows.
It's very good.
Apple TV's got some good stuff. I am totally captivated by Dope Thief. It's incredible.
Dope Thief.
It's gripping, Dean. I watch. It's the last thing I watch at night because everybody else goes to bed, and I want to get me like a show in, watch something good at the end. And I tell you, I go to bed and it's spinning in my head like, what the hell would I do in that situation? Because it's just a gripping. I think it's a gripping show. Well acted, too. Very well acted.
87% Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. So it's not just you apparently. I did see the trailer for it. It did look pretty interesting, and it's on the list, but like everything's in the list. But yeah, let me know if they stick the landing, and we'll circle back.
What's his name? The one guy, the main actor he's in all kinds of good stuff. Like he's the guy.
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, he was in Atlanta, wasn't he?
He was in Atlanta and Bullet Train, Transformers.
And then there's that one show he recently did that was really good too, about the futuristic cops and stuff. I forget what the name of it was.
I don't know what that is.
It was good, but Dope Thief is good. Dope Thief is
Weapons, which is supposed to be pretty good as well. All right, let's give the second clue to the people, and we'll dive in. We'll talk about some pitching as far as the slate. Still, 50 minutes until crunch time coming in. Plenty of time. 10 gamer. Second clue for television Tuesday is Say. Sun Say That is the first 2 clues. Let me know Discord channel. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Okay, Chop. So Garrett Crochet, biggest K rate, smallest Sierra, fine matchup against Kansas City. Looks like he's going to get the most ownership on DK, currently at 36%. Woo at 27%. Beyond that, we're showing Darvish at 22%, which I don't know how much I love Darvish, if he's going to be kind of, sort of, somewhat popular. But he's just kind of the only guy down there I think I would consider rostering amongst the pitchers. I'm curious to get your take, but I think he's the cheapest guy to be on the roster. Eovaldi at 20% against the Yanks. I think we did get that lineup, by the way. Grisham, Rice, Judge is officially back. Bellinger, Jazz, Goldie, Dominguez, McMahon, and Volpe. Looks so much better. When Judge happens to be in there. Do you have any sort of this is the guy I must have in my one main lineup as far as pitchers? Because I once again don't, but I want to have 2 pitchers amongst Crochet, Woo, and Imanaga. I think I want to get 2 of those 3 if possible. Now, I don't know if that's possible. We'll see. I'm fine with Peralta. I'm fine with Eovaldi. I wish Pepio was cheaper. And again, if I'm desperate for salary, I guess I'll play Yu Darvish, but I'm not happy about it. You tell me, what's your approach as far as pitching?
I just don't see how I'm going to get 2 of the elite guys, not with the Toronto bats in there. So that's just not going to happen. I'm resigned to figure out which one I want to play in that elite range. And there's 4 I'm going to choose from: Crochet, Woo, Peralta, and Eovaldi. I think we're all. I mean, Crochet's the guy, but he's also facing a team that is known this year to not be very patient at the lineup, so they're not going to collect a bunch of strikeouts. He's got great strikeout stuff, though, so maybe he can get it done. He's got good swing and miss stuff, so maybe he gets it done. But I think that Woo is a really good pitcher, too. Probably not on the same level, but not that far off. I really like Peralta's matchup tonight. Don't look at the Braves now, but that lineup has gone through some injuries, and they're just not very good. There's just not a lot of depth in that lineup at all anymore, not like it used to be. So I think Peralta's a perfectly fine play. And then there's Eovaldi. You kind of touched on him a little bit, which is, I don't want to say it's a resurgence year, but he was pretty much known for a lot of his career as a decent pitcher, but a great postseason pitcher. He starts to put it together in the postseason, and he's really good. He's put it together the whole year from start to finish now. So he's on point, man. So I think he belongs in that category too. So those 4 guys I'll probably pluck one of those guys. Maybe not. I got to see how much Toronto I can just absolutely jam into my lineup. Hey, if I jam enough Toronto and it's chalk, it doesn't matter if I'm avoiding all 4 of those guys. I think I can make a different lineup right off the bat, if I avoid all those guys. But I think those are the elites. I'm going to pass on Imanaga in that elite range. I won't have any Imanaga tonight at all on either side. Yeah, he's a decent matchup, and decent weather, decent conditions for pitching. But we've talked about it before. Some of his underlying numbers not very good. He can go out there and he can have some good performances. He's definitely shoved it on us before, but a lot of those numbers are I don't know, man. I don't like it a lot. And you guys just kind of
to that point, John.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's
don't let me finish my one thought, man. Golly. I was going to sum it up and stick the landing in one sentence, and you buried me.
I should have tapped the mic. I get it. I should have tapped the mic. Go ahead. My apologies.
The StreamYard has a little thing. It says hand up. You can raise your hand, and then that lets the guy know urgently you're ready to. No, it's over with now. My thing is donezo now. But no, we got those elite pitchers. So
I think you're thinking of Zoom. Zoom had a hand up, not StreamYard.
Okay, maybe not. Those elite pitchers. There's no reason to even press the button on him. And for me, maybe GPPs do what you want, but with those other guys on the board, no reason to mess with that. But why would you say Imanaga is a fraud, Dean?
Well, I mean, I talked about this a couple weeks ago, right before the White Sox blow up, and I actually only played a little bit of the White Sox, not a lot, but they sort of won the slate that night when they absolutely pummeled. They punched Imanaga's face in essentially. 1.73 homers per 9 is a lot, and he's giving up a ton of fly balls. So it's just 11.7% homer to fly ball. It's not really goofy at all. The counterpoint is he's in Wrigley tonight with the wind blowing in, so the chances of him giving up homers are a little bit less likely. But as far as your point of how lucky he's been, 3.25 ERA, spectacular, but a BABIP of 226, like his batting average on balls in play, 226, that's super lucky. Typically league average is around 300 or so. His left on base, 86.7%, another number that's really lucky. League average is 71, 72, depending on. So that's why the Sierra is 4.59. That's why the XFIP is 4.71. He's living on not making sure the balls go over the fence. And that's how he gets beat, because the Ks are not great. 19%. Now you can argue the swing and strikeout rate says that his numbers should be higher as far as Ks, 11.7% swing and strikeout rate. And his K rate's just 19%. Generally, it's a little bit more than 2x, right? So in theory, if you want to argue this, and it's not a perfect metric, there's no perfect metric like this, but I would think if you tell me somebody's got 11.7% swing and strike rate, their Ks are probably around 24, 25-ish percent. And it's only 19. So I think there's a little bit of meat in that bone. Probably going to get luckier there. But the point is that his biggest bugaboo is giving up homers. And this doesn't seem like the kind of spot he's going to give up homers because, well, look at that Cincinnati lineup, and you tell me who's going to homer off them. And look at their numbers versus lefties. A 138 ISO as a team collectively. Austin Hayes has a 316 ISO, which, okay. It's a lot of small sample stuff too. Ellie De La Cruz is bad versus lefties. He's just not good. He strikes out a ton. He doesn't walk. He has no power. And that's one of their best hitters, if not the best hitter. Marte does not have an extra base hit versus lefties this year in 44 at-bats. Who's going to homer off him? Somebody probably does, maybe. But does he give up 2? I don't think so. I think this is like a pretty clean spot for him. That's the counterpoint. Look at that Reds team and tell me who homers.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's more just it's like the metrics, the underlying metrics, and that support what I was trying to say was it's not even that shoves me in that direction. It's the fact that I could play him, or I could spend some more money and I could play one of these other 4 guys who I think are exceptional tonight. Like I see a great, you know what I mean? Like these guys, like if we cleared the board of those first 4 guys I talked about and there was nothing really good in that elite range. Whoa, okay. Now I'm taking notes on what you're saying. I'm saying, okay, maybe I can play him. But even with what you just said, I think that tonight, I mean, I just give me 800 more in Eovaldi against the Yankees, and Judge probably has a bad shoulder, and I probably think we'll see him swing way out of the strike zone, stuff like that. And again, Peralta in that matchup, I just think Atlanta's just falling apart offensively. And don't get me started on Crochet and Wu. I think they're exceptional. So that's more. But yeah, I get it, man. Well, asterisk that, and we'll talk about it next slate when there's not as much good pitching, and maybe we'll go with Managa.
So just want to note, Roth is telling us that Milwaukee-Atlanta is yellow-orange. It's yellow-orange. It's not orange-yellow. So just be aware. You're talking about Peralta. I'll go ahead and read this. I'll drop it in chat as well for the people. In one way, it looks a lot like last night, with a batch of scattered showers in the area around game time. The difference today is that models are bringing those showers over the ballpark. We'll need to monitor radar pregame. Current best guess would be a late start and play, but there's plenty of possible outcomes. I assume you're kind of rooting for a late start then. Yeah, I imagine Roth will get a chance to update this or update his Twitter. Unfortunately, he's not going to be on later. TJ will be on, but again, hopefully Roth will give us an update. But just be aware, there's a potential. It's yellow-orange. I'm not freaking out, but just be aware. Potential weather there with Peralta versus Atlanta. And by the way, our guy Kirkdiese will be on later. I don't know if you saw this chop in the chat. He said Shota is shoving tonight. So he's also on Imanaga.
Kirk knows better than I do.
I just, I was looking at that Cincinnati team, and I was just like, who's going to beat them? And, obviously these guys are all professionally trained. They're all good at hitting baseballs. It's like, Brian Scalabrine is a great basketball shooter, but, he's still the 15th man on the bench. I don't know why I pick him. Actually, I kind of do. We'll talk about it later in tiers. So you almost came up. You kind of sort of somewhat came up. Did not crack the tier, but there's a little tease of the tiers. Do you have a ranking amongst Crochet and Wu and Peralta and Eovaldi? Eovaldi, career year at 35. It's so weird. Like, I know he's not pitched a ton of innings, but his numbers are just what is the ERA? It's in the one still, right? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, 1.49 ERA in 103 innings. That's insane. And a ton of ground balls. The Sierra's 3.09. He's been kind of lucky, but not insanely lucky. You said Judge is going to be. I assume he's fine. They're not just going to. I know they're panicking in New York, and it's been a rough couple weeks.
That's the key, Dean. They might rush him back a little bit. I don't know. You're a hitter, man, and you really need to hit major league pitching, especially good pitching. You kind of need to feel good, physically. And we've seen a lot of guys get out there with even minor injuries and just a little bit of pain and just not. And all of a sudden you're like, what's wrong with this guy? He's going through a big slump. Maybe that's the case with Judge. I don't know. Maybe rush him back because, boy, Boone's really feeling the pressure. But maybe he's good. But even if he's fine, he's one guy. And I just don't fear the rest of that lineup that much these days. So I don't know. But I think it's to your question, those four guys, if salary didn't matter, I'd go Crochet, Peralta, Wu, Eovaldi. With salary mattering on DraftKings, at least at this point, I'd go I'd probably lean Peralta, Eovaldi, Crochet, and Wu.
We did get a White Sox lineup. Moncada not in it, and Mydroff not in it. Peraza and Baldwin are in there. So I think that's
Moncada play for the Angels.
Oh, you know what? That's both lineups. Yep. Yeah, there you go. So Mydroff not in there.
But he's a former White Sox, so it probably threw you off.
That's what threw me off. Yes, thank you for the bailout. I think that's what happened there. I saw the swaps on Lineup HQ. I did see the White Sox lineup jump in, but I forgot the Angels also came in as well. So, yeah. But Mydroff was expected to play in our projections. Now, Brooks Baldwin in there, which I think is a downgrade. Not that, we're afraid of Mydroff, but just noting it for Wu. Darvish, anybody else down there that you're willing to play?
Yeah.
As far as the pitchers?
I'm glad you asked, Dean, before we move on to tiers.
Sheehan?
There's three guys that I could play outside that range. And I'm sure there's other guys, and, guys can pull up all the stats and do all that good stuff, and it's fine. It's fine. These are just the three guys I've highlighted based on salary and potential. Pepio, who you kind of mentioned, had a bit expensive, but I'm okay, Dean, because out of all the lineups that have come in so far today that are confirmed right now, the LA Angels against right-handers has the highest strikeout rate. And, when you start to talk about what's 24% strikeout rate as a lineup going to do versus another team down there like Arizona tonight only has guys who strike out at a 19% clip. It's marginal in one game, but, anything can help. And Pepio he's not a bad pitcher. His numbers are decent. All of his underlying metrics are decent. He's got a 24% K rate. So, he saves you a little money off of the other guys, and I think he's solid. You mentioned Sheehan just now. You throw that name out there. I'm going to throw it out there too. He's got some pretty good arm talent. St. Louis isn't really they don't deliver. He's a 25% K rate, 3.8 team total tonight. Everything in that looks pretty good. He just has to avoid, the fly balls. Fly balls can get him if he catches the wrong side of variance there, but if not, he's in good shape. And then you mentioned, Darvish just jumps up. I probably wouldn't even think about that. Darvish wouldn't be highlighted for me if he wasn't $6,100 on draft.
It's a price.
I know he's probably not the same guy he once was, but he's coming off of 32 DK points against a good offense, starting to pitch a little bit more, more pitches and more bulk as he returns. And now you're getting $6,100 and so I can get behind it. He's older, but he's not getting by. He's not doing it with the stuff he used to do anyway. He's doing it with the old throwing a bunch of stuff out there, a bunch of junk, and
he's like 10 different pitches, right?
Keeping the hitters off guard. Yeah, so I don't think he really needs all the big velocity and stuff anymore. But yeah, those are the three guys. I think I'm going to play one of those guys with one of the aforementioned, big dogs. I think that's the route I'm going.
Yeah, I'm messing around with the lineup right now, just kind of like doing it on the fly because you're talking about, paying up for Toronto, and I want to get Toronto. I want to get some good bats. I want to pivot away from Kirk, and I also want to make us all work under the salary cap. But it's pretty tricky. But I think I can do it. I think I can do it with the help of the Texas Rangers, which I don't feel great about.
You're pivoting off of the leader of Juggalo Nation? Crazy.
Man, I don't know. I really like we'll talk about it, but I really like Corey Seager tonight. He's one of my favorite plays because I think people are going to chase Bichette last night, and he's in an amazing spot once again, of course. And if you look at the splits for Warren on the season, he's really vulnerable to lefties, even dating back to last year. If Corey Seager's is kind of like not going to get played, especially in single entry stuff, if Bichette's going to be popular, and if not Bichette, people might play Betts, and if not Betts, they might play Tovar, who's jump up to the 2 spot. I think Seager is just an awesome play tonight. So he's one of my favorites. I don't know if I can get to Ohtani. Of course, Ohtani looks incredible too. I still don't know if I have the salary for it, but I'm building something here on the fly. And the tricky thing is here, Chop, because I wrote about not playing Alejandro Kirk, and now I have an amazing lineup with him. It's just I don't want to play him.
What does Shohei have to? I mean, he has to deliver an absolute monster for $6,900 payoff. I can't.
25 points. Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's is this whole? I don't know if I've ever seen this many guys over 6K on DraftKings on one slate before. This is rather ridiculous.
They are. It feels like the prices have been tightening a little bit more.
9 guys over 6K or more tonight. 9 guys 6K or more.
Ohtani, Carroll, Tucker, Judge, Vladdy, J-Ram, Dumper. I'm sure I missed somebody. De La Cruz,
Kyle Tucker,
Cattell. And there's not a lot of cheap players either. There's not a lot of guys 2 to 3K, that you'd even think there's not a lot even to pick from that you can possibly consider rostering. Marte is leading off at 3K. He's a pinch hit waiting to happen, all right. For the Mets, he's going to turn into Cedric Mullins once they get Allen out of the game. Maybe he gets 3 at bats. Starling Marte. He also stinks. Is the other part of it.
I highlighted Marte too, man. I liked him.
He was once really good. Yeah, he was once a really good player, but no, that's.
I mean, I don't roster him very much, but when you throw a weak left-hander out there, I'm a sucker for. Man, yeah. No, that's not. Let me see. I don't know. What would the bat have the pinch hit risk? I don't think there's that much pinch hit risk. I don't see him.
Just added Cedric Mullins. Is the Mo not playing today?
When he starts, I don't see very many games where he only gets limited at bats.
Yeah, but now they have Mullins. They've just got Mullins.
I don't know if you watched Mullins last night, but they might not be so quick to pull the trigger. Quick to pull the trigger on him and put him in the game very much anymore. But
they traded for him.
I know, but doesn't mean you're gonna put him in there. And I mean, I guess I don't know.
They think Marte's a lot this year.
They might take Tyrone Taylor out to put Mullins in.
Yeah, depending on the spot, like when it comes up. That's a good point.
And they literally went to get him to replace Tyrone Taylor's terrible offense. So
Tyrone Taylor seems like more of a lefty masher. If you're not playing a lefty, you can't put him in, and he's the guy. But I mean, I'm not.
I could see them taking out Taylor and leaving Marte in, but yeah, for Mullins. But I'm not sure.
Who else is lurking on that bench? I'm trying to think what other players. McNeil is playing. Nemo is playing. Beatty's in the bench. He's a lefty. He's a guy that can jump into the game.
Mauricio's on the bench tonight.
Mauricio's another one, switch hitter. Yeah, so maybe they both leak. And a lot of it's dependent upon the game environment. If it's 10-0, who cares? He'll stick around. But if the key spot comes up and there's a righty and on the mound, Taylor and Marte are both gone. That's possible. They have a couple guys to make that happen. But okay. Third clue today for Television Tuesday. We're going to do our tiers here in a second. The third clue, Chop, It is bird. So sun, say, and bird. It's our first 3 clues. Get in the Discord. Tell me what television show I'm talking about. I do want to set up today's tiers. Also want everybody in chat hit that like button. Do like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We'd appreciate all that. TJ's coming out later, so I imagine, I don't want to speak for TJ or Spidey, but I imagine Spidey bombs are in play. So hit that like button now and get it over with. So you got some Spidey bombs coming for you once TJ is jumping on the show. Today's birthday is Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man. I'm sure you've heard him called that before. And I started thinking about athletes that have nicknames that are animal-based. So animal-based nicknames for athletes, Chop. And chat, tell me some of your favorites. First thing to come to mind, athletes that have animal-based nicknames. Ant-Man, Ant. I mentioned before, he didn't make the board, but Scalabrine was the white mamba, right?
Oh, good one.
He did not make the board. He was in contention. It just did not work out. I was going to put black mamba, white mamba, but Kobe didn't make it either. Spoiler alert. But do you have any? Just it's the way it goes. There's nothing personal. There's only somebody you can put on the board. But they're saying in chat, black mamba. Oh, the manimal. I don't know what animal a manimal is, but that was what Kenneth Fareed was the manimal.
Oh yeah.
I think he was half man, half animal. I think that was. I don't know if that was like a Vince Carter play. Tiger Woods.
That was
Eldred.
before Vince Carter.
Yeah, Kenneth Fareed was before Vince Carter?
No, that nickname, I believe, was before. Because Kenny the Jet Smith did the Vince Carter nickname on the fly on TNT one night. It was just out of nowhere, and it just stuck. So I'm pretty sure the Manimal was a Manimal since he came out of college. But I mean, it might just be good. So would Tiger Woods count, or is that like more of a birth name?
Yeah, birth name was Eldred, right? Yeah, but no, he did not make the he did not make the board.
Catfish Hunter? So Catfish Hunter? I like some fishing now.
You know what? There's I almost put a Big Tuna. Big Tuna was Bill Parcells because I never understood that one. He almost made the board. There's a few good ones though, and I don't think anybody said my favorites just yet that are on the board. The Lindor Truffle. Well, I think Lindor is Mr. Smile. Lindor. Big Dog. Glenn Robinson's a good one. Russ Westbrook. What's his nickname? I've heard Westbrook.
There's I'll throw a couple out there. I don't know what Westbrook. What is his nickname? I forget. But
I don't know. I think that people make fun of him for not having a great jumper.
You just call him a Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, you could call him a ninja. You got one of your clues is Bird. You could go Birdman. I like Birdman. Birdman was a good nickname.
Chris Anderson, Birdman.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Dean. There's a lot of good ones, obviously, but one that sticks out to me because when this guy was playing at college at Purdue. And he was so good at what he did. And then they came out and this is his nickname. It stuck with us on the playground, man, when we were playing. It was like, everybody started calling everybody Big Dog because of Glenn Robinson, the Big Dog. So that's one of my favorites right there.
That was a good one. Good shooter for Milwaukee back in the day. There's Big Baby. That's not an animal though, right? I'm trying to see other ones that somebody got it in chat. My guy J3. He hit the board. The Honey Badger. The Honey Badger is a good one. Come on. Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu is on the board.
What about Crime Dog? Crime Dog.
That's good too. Yeah, Fred McGriff. I did not get that. Cheetah for Tyreek Hill did not make the board either. Sven says Pauly Shore. He was known as the Weasel, but he didn't play athletics. He was an Encino man, but he was the Weasel. Okay, fair enough. Jake the Snake Plumber. But yeah, let's go ahead and show the board. Polar Bear. I didn't consider the Polar Bear, but bad job by me. Pete Alonso, Grant somewhere out there is upsetting me. But my favorites is Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. There's the nutted picture of Alonso. Back in the day, like in San Fran, it gets cold out there on the bay. They would sell like hats with the panda. They made a ton of money off of Pablo Sandoval. Like half the crowd will be wearing these hats inspired by Kung Fu Panda. So Pablo Sandoval, do like that one. Muscle Hamster for Doug Martin. I don't even know what a muscle hamster. I know what a hamster is. What's a muscle? I don't know, but it worked. Remember Doug Martin? You remember him? running back for Tampa.
Absolutely.
Incredible nickname. Ran everything on the ground, and he had a good 3 or 4 year run. So I like that nickname. Honey Badger for Matthew. Ant-Man, I think we can do better. We can do better than Ant-Man. It's fine. I just feel like we can do better than Ant-Man for Edwards. And I don't know. Kickers getting nicknames. Greg the Leg. But Seabass. Remember Seabass for Sebastian Janikowski, the kicker.
Spent the first round draft pick on a kicker.
I mean, seriously.
They didn't know better back in the day.
Wasn't there a kicker from Florida that was drafted really early too, like after Seabass, after Janikowski, that was gone from the league in like a year, not even? Wasn't there somebody that was drafted their first or second round, and they barely made the league, and I think they just missed a couple in preseason, and somebody in chat will know. You don't know what I'm talking about? I feel like it was Florida, but I could be wrong.
Right offhand, I don't remember.
But it's happened before, and the only Seabass that matters, let's be honest, is Cam Neely from Dumb and Dumber. Kick his ass, Seabass. Seabass. That's the only one we care about. It's Janikowski, whatever. Yeah, Aguayo. Does that sound right? I think that sounds right. Right? Is that the guy that was like a first or second rounder?
Yeah, Roberto Aguayo was who I was thinking of from FSU, but he was in the second round.
But still,
it was the 59th pick overall. I mean, it's pretty early for a kicker.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of kickers go undrafted, but yeah, he flamed out really quickly. Okay, let's throw some teams and some tiers. We got 20 teams. We have 10 games. First game on our slate shop. It is Kansas City and Boston. Garrett Crochet, one of the best pitchers, probably the best pitcher, depending on the slate. So at Kansas City, they have a team total less than 3. Good pitching environment today for Boston as well. Ryan Bergert is making his debut for the Royals. They just traded for him, throwing baseballs here against Boston. Duran up to the 1 hole. Oh, man, I knew my night was going to stink last night once I had, what's his name? Anthony was scratched a minute into the game. Because, what is this, basketball? He had a back, so he's not playing tonight. But a late scratch out of Boston was kind of brutal. That was a bad omen for me. Not in the lineup today. Yeah, Royals, Red Sox. What do you got?
Yeah. The Red Sox thing that was a little frustrating with Roman Anthony. When you look at a good lineup and you see you couldn't get Anthony out, even though you saw the scratch, and that sucks. But it happens. But we move on. Boston, they still put up some runs. They're still a good offense. I think this is still a perfectly fine matchup for them. So at home like that, I wish it was at full strength, but I'm going to put Boston in tier 2. Yeah, the offense is pretty good. KC, this is a pretty decent pitching match. So I'm going to put Boston in tier 2. Kansas City, Dean, I mean, you're going against Crochet. You're going against a solid bullpen. KC's a tier 5 team for me, Dean. And not only that, if the game happens to stay close, Dean, you know what they got to face. They got to face a chopper knocker blocker.
Woo!
If the game is like 3 or 4 run difference later in the innings, you get Crochet out of there, you're going to get some of that Boston bullpen. And they've done a good job at revamping that bullpen as much as they could. They actually think in Boston it's a strength of theirs. And so good for them. They can do it. But let me ask you this, Dean. Let's get a little off time here, Dean. A little off time real quick as we present the knocker blocker. Do you remember the year is 2000? Picture this, Dean. The year is 2010. One of the top movies is Avatar, the original Avatar. Another top movie, I know you've seen this one, Inception. What a great movie, right? 2010, so long ago. 2010, Dean, not the movie, but the actual Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. I think it was Gulf of Mexico. The actual event took place. And then Marky Mark, shout out to our tiers yesterday. Marky Mark was tier 1. Later on, Marky Mark, took that on as a movie, and that became Deepwater Horizon. But the actual event happened in 2010. What I'm leading to tell you, Dean, is another event happened in 2010. The debut of now 37-year-old Aroldis Chapman for the Cincinnati Reds.
That's what I thought you were talking about. Go ahead.
He's been a flamethrower ever since, Dean. So 37-year-old left-hander since he came up with Cincy, now over here with Boston this year. 2.5 xFIP, Dean, 38.7% K rate. You talked about swinging strike rates earlier. This guy's over 21% swinging strike rate this year, Dean, as a 37-year-old. Now you ask yourself, how is this possible? Well, he had a great career. And then somewhere around 2020, he kind of started to fall off with the Yankees. And they were like, oh, he's washed. He's cooked. This is it. He's hit that edge. He's too old now to do anything. Had his worst year in 2022. And you know what happened the 3 years after that, Dean? He went to a different arsenal. He started throwing a sinker at 100 miles per hour. That's his most used pitch over the last few years. He used it like sparing, like 1 to 5% previously. He never used it any significant shape. It's a 100-mile-an-hour sinker. It's got him back, and now look at him. He's the closer of this bullpen. He's one of the best in the game. Little resurgence button on the career. Fantastic. Aroldis Chapman, the chopper knocker blocker. If you happen to be seeing this guy come up in the 9th inning and you're stacking against him, you're probably in trouble, Dean.
Yeah, I'm with you as far as Kansas City down the 5-hole. I'm not making enough laps to mess with that. If you're running 150 and you want to be super contrarian, by all means, have at it. Enjoy yourself. By the way, my apologies. It's been raining here all day, storming, and it just picked back up again. So if you hear some rain, nothing I can do about it. I'll try to silence my mic when I'm not on. Cleveland and the Mets, 8.5 total. Logan Allen taking on Clay Holmes. Before I do that, I do want to drop the 4th clue for Television Tuesday. It is King, Sun, Say, Bird, and King. Mets are minus 164 favorites. Clay Holmes against Logan Allen, the lefty. We talked about some of the cheap guys for the Mets that may or may not be potential pinch hit risks. Of course, the good ones are not going anywhere. And Lindor and Alonso and Soto. The Guardians are essentially J-Ram, and then everybody else. You tell me, where are you putting the Guardians and the Metropolitans?
Yeah, let me see. We got this is a good one, Dean. Cleveland's going to be in tier 4 overall. Clay Holmes is he's kind of like shrinking his workload lately. They better rest him up a little bit for the playoffs if they want to go that angle with him. But he's a decent starter, a decent bullpen. Cleveland, not really my cup of tea here. And the New York Mets, Dean, I debated this one. Like I was like, what do I do with the Mets, man? Because I want to put them up there. Then I'm thinking the ballpark, New York, it's not hitter friendly, all this and that, Dean. I'm putting them in tier 1, Dean. I've had enough of these. I've had enough of these shenanigans. I don't like to attack a lot of ballparks either, Dean. I really don't like. Sometimes that's just such a turnoff. But at home, the Mets have the 8th highest home run per at bat ratio in Major League Baseball at home. Like 8 out of 30 is not bad. Like even at home, man. So when they get a good matchup, they got a good lineup. They can still get it done. It's. A good lineup can offset a lot of that ballpark factor that would be negative. So I'm on the Mets. Give me a tier 1 on the Mets.
All right, moving along. Some more games to go. Milwaukee, Atlanta. Joey Wentz at home versus Freddie Peralta. You talk about liking Freddie Peralta a good bit. We talk about this Braves lineup just looking worse and worse by the day. It just falls off pretty quickly. Alvarez and White and Allen and Albies has been bad this year. Harris has been bad this year. They're running out both their catchers because who else are they going to run out there? And then Milwaukee, facing a lefty, so you got a lefty against Yelich, but Andrew Vaughn is still really, really cheap for the Brewers. In a small sample, he's thrived of late since getting the call-up, since getting the trade. Brewers, 4-team total, 3.5 for Atlanta. Some potentially bad weather lurking. We'll give a refresh, but last we saw was yellow-orange in Atlanta. Brew Crew, Braves, where are they going on the board?
Yeah, Atlanta's just a little bit of a weakened offense right now, and Peralta's still pretty good. He has his bad moments, but he's still pretty good. So Atlanta's a tier 5. I don't want to stack that tonight. It's just not there for me. Milwaukee is I'm on the fence about Milwaukee. I'm going to put them in tier 3. I think it's a decent matchup, and there's a lot of good things about the matchup, but we talked about this yesterday at lineup. It falls off to where you kind of, the bottom of it just doesn't look too appealing. So I'm pretty neutral on Milwaukee most days. I'm putting them in tier 3. And by the way, Dean, I'm glad you finally acknowledged my guess in chat because I was wondering this whole time. You left me hanging, man. I didn't know. Because I want to guess again, but I don't want to guess again if I didn't know.
It's not anything karate related. It's not Cobra Kai.
No, you got me with the sunset. I think you did that on purpose. The sunset. So you got me. You sucked me in. Now I can't get. Now I'm never going to get. Oh, we just got a win or two. That my life is over with. As good as it was 30 minutes ago after the movie, now it's just in the doldrums, Dean. Somebody beat me to it.
It's a very popular show. So when it's a popular show, I don't want to make it super obvious, but I could not fool Thomas the Great. Shout out to Thomas the Great getting a week free of RG Premium. I will drop the last clue. We'll just mention it now since we're here. The last clue was listen, Chop. The last clue was listen. Sun, say, bird, king, listen. It'll all make sense when I explain the clues later on. Let's move along. It's Cincinnati and the Cubs. We'll talk about this being a positive pitching environment in Monaga against the Reds. Nobody's really going to play either one of these teams. So if you want to get goofy, you want to get a little bit weird, you can get weird with the Cubs. A great offense, just not the best environment today. No Suzuki, by the way, for Chicago. Did not crack the lineup. Where do you want to throw the Reds and the Cubbies?
Yeah, the Reds are a tier 5, even though I have some issues with him and starting him tonight. I don't want to stack against him, that's for sure. Not with this lineup. So that's a tier 5. Tier 5. Chicago, man, they're a solid offense. Don't love the matchup here. Don't love the weather. Pretty neutral on it. I think it all kind of balances out. They're a tier 3.
All right, Chicago in Honey Badger, and you have Cincinnati all the way at the bottom hanging out with Seabass. It's the Yankees. We talked about Judge being back. Judge officially back for New York, taking on Eovaldi, who's been one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, really kind of sort of somewhat quietly at age 35. Just has been spectacular. I talked about really liking Corey Seager, and I'm willing to play Rowdy Tellez and Jock Peterson, no matter how husky he may be these days. He's just super, super cheap. Tellez as well. I don't mind Josh Smith either. I like the lefties here against Will Warren, who's been vulnerable to them. And this Yankee bullpen's been shaky. I know they sent down one of their newly acquired relievers just yesterday, getting frustrated there, I would imagine. Yankees, Rangers, what do you got?
Yeah, some people say Jock Peterson is the modern day Cecil Fielder. Just,
People are saying that?
Yeah,
well, Cecil Fielder hit home runs.
Well, that's all Jock does is hit a home run every once in a while.
Does he though?
I'm going New York Yankees are a tier 5. I don't want what's the Judge? And I know Steve is quick on the draw, but I don't know if he can even pull up the lineup HQ this quickly and highlight the I don't know, Corey Seager blurb I did, but I did something like not in love with the Texas stack in general. I'm going to put them in tier 3, but I did highlight the lefties in my blurb, just like you just said, against Will Warren. If he has a weakness, lefties are it. Very bad against lefties. And also one of those under the radar, small sample thing, take it for what you will. But on the road, it's been much more. He's been awful on the road compared to, believe it or not, you would think a home run park like Yankee where you could pull down a right field line would do you good, would do him bad. He's been good at home. He's been terrible on the road. So, hey, lefties on the road here for him on the road, that's a good stack. It's a stack. I'm going to put them in general in tier 3. But if you just wanted a 1 off or 2 off, 3 off those left-handers, I think this is a good spot for that. Thank you, Steve. You're on the ball, man.
He's on top of it, showing off his producing skills. Yeah, I'm probably going to have Seager instead of Bichette if I'm, my Toronto stack. And that's probably what I'm going to do. And if Bichette hits 2 more homers, good for him.
You can't do it 2 nights, and nobody ever did it in a row, Dean. It's been
never happens.
Almost technically impossible. And the Jock Peterson, they called me fat narrative. It's got to be something, man. It's got to be something.
He heard it. He heard that. Somebody had to play the video for him.
We've heard it all day. He heard it.
So Toronto and Colorado, a 7 total again, locked in for 9 guaranteed innings. The 2 lefties in Colorado's bullpen both worked pretty hard last night. Both threw at least 43 pitches. Both probably don't pitch today. So I think we're going to get 9 innings of mediocre right-handed pitching. Anthony Molina drawing the start here for the Rockies. Barrios on the other side for Toronto. A lineup is out. Lukes, Bichette, Vladdy, Barger, Alejandro Kirk, Varsho, Clement, Loperfido, and Ty France in the 9-hole. He doesn't qualify, Chomp. He does not qualify Dalton Varsho. Not enough at bats. But if he did qualify, he would lead the league in baseball ISOs versus lefties. Dalton Varsho.
Varsho is a lefty.
No, I'm sorry, versus righties.
Okay.
Versus right. Yeah. He was he's not enough at bats. I think he's got 9 or 10 home runs and 89 bats this year versus right-handers. He banged one out last night too. The official number is a 388 ISO, which is pretty bonkers.
So, some people would say, though, if he had more at-bats, it'd probably kind of stabilize a little and regret. I don't know, just throwing it out. But no,
I would agree with that.
Now imagine this, though, Dean. Toronto's done all this, and they've been very good offensively without him. Imagine if he comes back and that's a legit team right there. Give credit to those guys. They're doing it.
George Springer's missing too.
Yeah, he was part of that great run though. They got him in first place, and then they got hit in the head. So that's a tough break. But I mean, there's no surprises. Toronto's a tier 1 team again. And don't fight it, man. Just relax and play some of it. Just figure out, like you said, if Kirk's too chalky, don't play Kirk, but figure it out. They're going to score runs. Colorado's the surpriser here, Dean. I'm putting them in tier 2 against Berrios. I don't know. It's pretty decent hitting weather. I like it. I think maybe he can have issues sometimes. He's certainly not a big K guy anymore like he was with Minnesota. So maybe and then, like you talked about with a couple of their batters earlier by name, they're piecing together a decent lineup these days of some young guys. So I give them a little credit. I'm putting them in tier 2 just because maybe they're a little bit more competitive offensively tonight with Toronto, and that could lead to a nice game stack in general.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to Hunter Goodman, and I have that content writer quandary where it's like I wrote up, hey, pay for Goodman instead of Kirk, and like I'm trying to make it happen. I'm not sure if I can make it happen, but I want to make it happen. That's my intent. But now if I don't play that, it's like, oh, why are you writing that? So I'm sure you've had this before, Chop, where like you said you're going to do something else, and that this is the plan. That's what I want, and we'll see what happens when we build our lineups. But that's ideally I get the Hunter Goodman as my spend-up catcher as they pivot. Pepio is taking on the Angels. Jose Soriano and all his ground balls against the Rays. 8 total. Angels are slight favorites here, minus 131. Where do you want to throw the Angels and the Rays?
Well, Jordan is ramping up his tee work, and he's swinging pain-free right now. If he can go through a few more hurdles, he'll be back with the Astros. So in honor of Jordan, he's number 44, still tipping on 4-4s. Both these teams, Dean, are going in Ant-Man in tier 4. Just very unsexy, both of these. 2 solid pitchers, decent enough. I don't want any piece of this, really.
I was wondering where you're going with that, with the opening up of the Jordan. But I see where you went. A couple teams there in the 4 spot. We shall move on. There are 3 more games to go. We got the knockers. You got the BVP suggestion of the day. TJ's coming on in a little bit, about 10 minutes or so, crunch time. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, as well as Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, who's been hanging out with us here in the chat. I see TJ in chat as well. Hit that like button. I think if you hit it enough, we'll wake up Spidey. We'll get some Spidey bombs. Maybe some have actually dropped, but I missed it. If they did, my bad. My apologies. But I imagine TJ will be coming with some Spidey bombs as well. The more times you hit the like button, the more Spidey bombs y'all get. San Diego, Arizona, Ryan Nelson versus Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is kind of like the SP2 de jour. Only, mostly, kind of, sort of, somewhat because of salary. He's cheap. He's cheap on DK, 6.1K. The best, cheap option. He's old, too. He's not having a career year like Eovaldi, but he had a career game last time out. This Arizona team, a little less tough with the absence of, Gino. Gino was gone. There's still Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll you got to deal with, but it falls off pretty quickly after that. Padres are the favorites here, favorite team, minus 137, Chopper. Where do you want to put San Diego and the Diamondbacks on the board?
So a couple minutes ago, Dean, we were way behind, and I was expediting the tiers. Now I gotta take the foot off the gas just a little bit, just coast a little bit, because we need to stick this perfectly. Now we're a little bit ahead. So San Diego against Ryan Nelson and this bullpen, they improved at the deadline a little bit. I like adding the depth they did to this thing. So I'm putting them in tier 2 tonight, getting out of their ballpark and up into Arizona, which is a much better layout for them. So they're a tier 2 team. You said something yesterday, and it's kind of the way I play sometimes, a lot actually. You get a team like San Diego and their bullpen with a quality starter, even if San Diego's trailing by 2 to 3 runs later in the game, they have so many arms down there that are so good. As long as it's a close game, you're going to get quality pitchers in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. It's very difficult to make your stacks pay off against a team like that. So Arizona's a tier 4 at best, and that's only because maybe Darvish comes out and gives up a bunch of walks and doesn't strike guys out or whatever could happen early, and you don't even see any of those guys in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. But otherwise, it's tough to stack against San Diego these days. It's a tier 4 for Arizona.
2 more games to go. Next game up is the White Sox. The White Sox in Seattle, 7.5 total. The White Sox have a team total less than 3. Less than 3 because they're not good. They're a bad baseball team. They're in a bad ballpark to hit baseballs. And Brian Woo's a pretty solid pitcher. So, yeah, we're looking at a 2.85, a sub-3 team total. The Mariners, massive favorites here, minus 252, taking on Davis Martin. We mentioned Gino. Gino looks a lot better here in Seattle, bolstering that lineup. That front 5 is excellent in a Rosarena, Big Dumper, Raleigh, J-Rod, he's been hot of late. He's doing his thing, right? He scuffles for the first 3 months of the season, and then he just sort of comes on. And Naylor, of course, forgot about him, the other D-back they acquired earlier in the year. Mariners and White Sox, where are they going on our board?
Brian Woo's been good. I mean, this is not a fluke, man. I need to fix my camera next time, Dean. Please remind me. I need to bring it down. My head's too low, man. I need to be up here, but that's not a natural sitting position. So remind me pre-show next time, Dean. I need to fix my camera. But Brian Woo's not just a one-year fluke. He's been good for a couple years now. He just needed to figure out a way to retire left-handed batters. We've talked about this before. He's doing it. It's made him a very good pitcher. And the bullpen, assuming it's even vaguely close, has more than taken care of its business. Good bullpen, good starting pitcher. The White Sox are a tier 5. No doubts about it. Now, Seattle at home, not a great ballpark. Kind of talked about the Mets, but the difference between the Mets and Seattle is the Mets have a very good lineup. Seattle, as much improved as they are, aren't on the level of the Mets, in my opinion. And this is a really drastic pitcher's park. In New York, you can get some weather sometimes that help your hitters. In Seattle, you don't get that. So Seattle's a tier 3 against Davis Martin. So just a tier 3.
Last game, Chop. Last game on the slate, 10 of 10. It's the Dodgers taking on the Cardinals. Miles Mikolas. I saw somebody in chat asking if you can roster Miles Mikolas. I know the Dodgers have been scuffling, but I can't imagine. What is your upside with Mikolas and was it 16% K rate? I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm sure it's close enough to that. Dodgers, interesting pivots off of Toronto. Ohtani, for sure. He's probably going to hit the ball really hard against Mikolas. Doesn't really walk anybody. Probably throws too many strikes. LA has a team total above 5. It's M and Sheehan against the aforementioned Miles Mikolas.
No, you're using my word. I have already used that word today. I've already used aforementioned, and I got credited in chat. You can't double dip on my word.
Oh, you have a monopoly on aforementioned?
When I say it at one time, one person says it one time, sounds very smart. When the other guy comes in and keeps repeating it, it sounds overkill, Dean.
I'm a tryhard. Is that what's happening here? All right. The player we mentioned earlier, Miles Mikolas, is throwing baseballs for the Cardinals. The theme of today's tiers, he was known as the Lizard King. I don't remember that. When he played over in Asia, he ate was it a lizard? I guess he ate a lizard. That would make sense, right? All right. Talking about the Dodgers and the Cardinals.
The Cards are a tier 4. I think Sheehan's pretty good and bullpen's pretty decent, and that's St. Louis tier 4. Nothing to love about that. LA, the lineup does not have Fresh Prince today, so it's a little bit weakened out there. So I know Miles Mikolas hasn't been great this year, but sometimes he can get in there, just get a bunch of soft contact and get through things. So I don't love the Dodgers, but I don't hate them. They're a tier 2.
I just gave it a quick Google. I want to make sure my memory is good. Yeah, new Cardinal starter Miles Mikolas earned his nickname by eating a lizard before a game. He did not make the board. If you're joining us late,
it's so insane, Dean. I've heard there's actual stories of people who get dared to eat a bug, and that bug has whatever inside of them, and it'll kill you. You can't just go sticking bugs and lizards and grub beetles and stuff in your mouth, man. You got to be careful, guys. Come on.
Well, Michael, he survived. He's still throwing baseballs many years later, so he's fine.
He is, but there's a lot of people who aren't that lucky, Dean.
Yeah. He did not crack today's board.
Maybe
what do you got, Steve?
He stinks at baseball because he ate that lizard.
Is there like a split, like before and after a lizard, pre and post lizard?
Maybe.
I don't know. But that's
how much time we got, Dean. We up against the ball. Can I just tell you something?
Sure.
Gus, speaking of lizards, Gus, the bearded dragon today.
Yes.
He took a good number 2 in the cage. And this cage is in the vicinity of where my wife does her home office, and she gets mad because it stinks. And she was telling me we need to sell Gus today. Can you believe the audacity? Sell Gus?
What does a bearded dragon go for on the open market?
It doesn't matter. She wants to give it away.
You wouldn't take like 10 grand for it? Cash in hand? Everybody's got a price.
10 grand, yeah, but nobody's giving you 10 grand for Gus.
Well, you can't say he's not for sale. He is for sale, just for the right price.
Not for sale realistically. She wants to just give Gus away because he poops too much. No, man, come on, give me a break. Gus is a part of the family.
Well, you know what you're getting into when you bought. You knew he's going to poop, but you know that's part of the deal.
Right. You're speaking to the choir. You're preaching to the choir. That's what I told her. And so
did she sign on for Gus, or she had to be talked into it?
I was the one who was against Gus when we didn't know who Gus was. When we didn't know what Gus was, I was like, no, this guy, they're not going to take care of Gus. They're going to grow out of it. I knew this was going to happen. And I got suckered into doing it all. And I'm okay with it because I like Gus. He's my buddy. But now
is there really that much upkeep for a bearded dragon?
Oh, man. Yeah, I told you it stinks when he's up there and he pees and poops, and every day he does it during the certain months out of the year, like 6 months out of the year, he'll do it a lot because he's eating a lot, and like 4 months out of the year when it's cold weather, they shut down completely. Dean, they don't eat, they don't poop, they don't even hardly move because of the cold weather. It's crazy. They go into I don't know what it's like a hibernation, but it's got a brunation or something is what it's called, and for lizards and. Because they're used to being out in the desert in the cold, and when it gets cold, they just shut down. So you got about 4 months where it's like nothing, no activity in their body at all. But they make up for it the rest of the time by going to the bathroom and eating quite a bit.
All right. Crunch time is here. Get a little comfortable, Crunch time. We have a couple of things to take care of before we hand it off to Crunch time. I do want to recap the board. If you missed it, today's category was athletes with animal nicknames. Athletes with animal nicknames. Number 1 tier, Kung Fu Panda, Pablo Sandoval. That is the Mets and Toronto. Second tier, the Muscle Hamster with Doug Martin. Red Sox, Colorado, San Diego, and the Dodgers. Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. I see the last name for some reason. I made him Tyler. I don't know why I would do that. Matthew there, the cornerback for Arizona. I'm not sure if he still is. Probably not. Milwaukee, Chicago, Texas, Seattle. Ant-Man, it's actually his birthday. That's what kind of inspired this category. Anthony Edwards. It's Cleveland, the Angels, Tampa, Arizona, St. Louis. The last tier, only because it is a kicker. Steve was telling me Tyrann Mathieu retired. I didn't know that. Good for him. I wish him luck in his retirement. Last tier is a kicker. It's Sebastian Janikowski, Kansas City, Seabass. Kansas City, Atlanta, Cincinnati, the Yankees, and the Sox. Let's tell the people about today's Television Tuesday, and the people want to know, of course, about choppers, knockers, and the BEP suggestion of the day. Crunch time also coming in just a minute, but I do want to give some clarity to this. Shout out to Thomas the Great, who took it down in 2 clues. The first clue, Chop, and I said before, it's a very popular TV show, so I didn't want to make it super, super obvious because people will just guess this blindly. Sun is a reference to the paper that is in the show. It's a real paper in real life, but it's also there's a fictionalized version of it. The Baltimore Sun is featured in this television show. Say is a reference to the creator of the show. Created several shows. This is one he's probably most known for. David Simon. Simon Says. Simon Say. Again, the clue was not great there, but it gets better. Clue number 3 is Bird, Chop. Bird. I think you know where I'm at this point. You didn't guess it, but I think you know what today's Television Tuesday is. Bird. A couple clues here. The 2 sports teams. This show is synonymous with the city. The two sports teams are bird teams, the Orioles and the Ravens. Also, there's a very popular movie back in the day, Bird on a Wire. Bird on the Wire. I'm sure Chop is a big Goldie Hawn, Mel Gibson fan back in the day. And birds kind of hang out on wires, too. One of the more quotable lines from the show was, you come at the king, you best not miss. King was clue number 4. Clue number 5, listen. A listening device is a wire, Chop, the wire. I think this is a show you like. I'm pretty sure. I didn't want to make it too easy, but we got there in 4.
Yeah, great show.
Thoughts on that? Any thoughts? By all means. People want knockers. They want the BEP suggestion of the day.
Great show, The Wire. We can debate, seasons 1 through 5 or whatever, and which one was really out of place. That's BBP suggestion of the day, Dean. Yeah, BBP suggestion of the day. I had teammates going neck and neck here, Dean, but I'm going with the number 3 hitter, Freddie Freeman. It was Mookie Betts was kind of in his pocket, but he's going Freddie Freeman here against Miles Nicholas. We're going that route. I don't know, Dean. I'm not into this weird stuff like that. But some guys, you might be into like fetishes, like one knocker is bigger than the other. I don't know. I don't know. People are into that kind of stuff. I'm not into it, but some people might. In this case, Dean, I'm going to New York. Metsies. I like these guys. 2 knockers from New York. But one of them's kind of big, Pete Alonso. One of them's kind of small, Jeff McNeil. 5,300, 2,800, big name, small name. The knockers aren't the same size tonight, but it's okay. They're going to get there, I think. So that's for everybody has his own stuff going on here.
The knockers are Pete Alonso, Big Pete meat, and as well as Jeff McNeil. Did I hear the BEP suggestion? Was that Freddie Freeman? Is that what I caught?
Freddie Freeman.
Okay. All right. Freddie, I wanted to see what he has against Michaelis. 9 hits and 20 at-bats, 3 homers, couple strikeouts, a walk. Yeah, he's been pretty good against them. So there you go. You said Betts was the only one you're considering? This is not something I've noticed, but a couple homers for Betts against Michaelis as well. There it is. That's the knockers. That is the BEP suggestion. We gave you the tiers board. Now crunch time is coming right in. Apologies for making you wait a little bit. TJ Zwarych, Dave Potts, Kirkwood, Juggalo Nation. Let's do it. It is crunch time right now. Kirkwood, you have different numbers. I see you're pointing out that you think Stanton should have been today.
No, I just asked if he was in consideration.
He's got 4 home runs and 41 at bats and 15 strikeouts. I think that's what he does against everybody. I feel like isn't that what Stanton's done against everybody's entire career essentially?
He hit a piss missile last night over center field. It was just straight. It was like this. It was the lowest home run. It went just straight line drive over to center, all the way to center field.
When he hits it, he still has insane power, and his exit velocity stuff is still really, really goofy. Still few and far between sometimes. It's coming out a little bit of late. I shouldn't say that, but when Stanton hits the ball, it's just different. It's just different when you see where that ball goes and how fast it gets there. TJ, once again, you're playing the role of Roth. Have we had a change? Any update when it comes to the weather in Atlanta?
I don't think so. Still yellow-orange, but we will keep a close look on at Roth's Twitter.
Yeah, I'm giving a refresh. I'm not sure if he's going to update the article, but I'd imagine he'd send out a tweet if possible. I don't know what he's up to. Hopefully everything's all good, but I think, like you said, he'll probably throw something up on the Twitter. All right. Chop, anything else? We've already kind of eaten the crunch time a little bit, but I think they're going to be okay. They still have 45 minutes.
They'll be all right.
Nonstop. Yeah, they're going to be. Unless you got anything else, do you want to tell any more fun facts about your bearded dragon? Do you want to share with the people?
I think we've had enough for today, Dean.
All right. Well, stay tuned for tomorrow. Well, Chop's not going to be here, but I will. Tomorrow, by the way, I'm recording a preseason slate. Say it again.
I don't think you will be here tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure I'm here tomorrow during the day. It's a split slate. I think I'm here with Blender in the morning, if I'm not mistaken. And is that not true? Did that go away? Okay. Maybe I read the schedule wrong.
I was gonna tell you after the show.
Steve.
Okay, so it was there.
Executive decision.
No,
You get
just
me twice, you
not
get
enough
Rock
games.
twice, you get no Dean.
Because I hear he's been doing a lot of those executive
Day
decisions.
off for Dean. Go catch a movie, Dean. Day off, brother.
No, I got to record something with Jamito, some preseason football.
Jamito usually takes a nap from 1 to 4. You got plenty of time right there.
Well,
No, he's tinkering. Jamito is tinkering from 1 to 4.
The hamster wheel and all that. Jamito doesn't get enough credit. He does heavily involved in a lot of the things you see behind the scenes. He's on top of everything in like every possible sport. But let's get out of here, Chop. Let's let crunch time take over. Dave Potts, Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, TJ. It is all yours.
Got a nice 10-game Tuesday slate for MLB Crunch Time. I'm your host, TJ Zwarych, joined by two of the sharpest minds in the biz. First up, we got Kirkdiese. How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. Yeah, another Red Sox win, another Yankee loss. Can't complain. Do it again tonight. Hopefully do it again tonight.
I would love if at the end of the season we can just not worry about the Yankees and just fight this thing out together.
This free fall, this free fall would be epic, from 10 games up on they were on you guys at one point.
Yeah, we'll eventually cheer against each other, but for now it's just screw the Yankees and everything else can fall into place when it does. Joining us as well to break down tonight's slate, we got Cheeseisgood. Dave Potts, how you doing, Cheese?
I think I'm fine. You can never be too sure, but I'm pretty sure I'm doing fine.
I see somebody in the Twitter chat asking why the chat is so dead, because we're all in the YouTube chat. So come hang out over in the YouTube chat, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll take questions from the YouTube chat. But first, I will be going to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. We'll get Spidey Bombs every 50 likes. I already dropped the first one at 100 likes. We're only 16 likes away from number 2. And lo and behold, Chop and I were on the same page 2 days in a row. But luckily, I got mine in first today, so it doesn't look like I'm copying them. But we got Pete Alonso as Spidey Bomb number 1, number 2 coming at 150 likes. So keep hitting that like button. Cheese, why don't you give us a little bit of an overview on today's slate?
It starts the same place as yesterday. The Blue Jays scored 15 runs, 25 hits, and they could easily do more than that tonight. The Rockies just do not have a single major league pitcher at all anywhere. It's horrible.
They got rid of their best reliever who goes to the Yankees, and then he gets sent down, or he's been sent down already.
Yeah, if you're trading from relievers for the Rockies, you deserve to lose.
Yeah.
That's only fair. It's so bad. They're so bad. It's unbelievable. Sure, it's in Coors Field too, but this team could be playing in any park, and they would be a must stack against every day. It's horrible. And the other part of the overview that we'll get to as we go through it, like yesterday, the ownership projections are not showing really that high of numbers for Toronto. They're going to be high. And in like smaller field stuff, they're going to be at least double what we're showing. Maybe in the big field stuff, again, they do stay around the 20% range, but like in small field stuff, do not think you're getting 15% owned Blue Jays bats, because you're not.
All right, Kirkdiese, why don't you lead us into a little pitcher talk? Who are you prioritizing tonight? We got Crochet with a good group up top, the kind of 9,700 and above, and then some weirdly cheap options tonight as well.
Yeah, so I like pitching. Pitching's fine. Obviously, Crochet is the top pitcher if you can get to him or want to get to him. It is in Fenway. It is not the greatest strikeout matchup, but the back end of their lineup is pretty bad. I know Cheese wrote about that too. There's just a lot of strikeouts in the back end. I don't really care. When it's like a pitcher like Crochet, an ace who's got like electric strikeout stuff, I really don't care about the matchup. He's perfectly capable of having a monster game. But he's 11K and there's a lot of Toronto bats to pay for. Brian Wu is going to be popular at 10.4, playing the White Sox. I think people are starting to catch on that the White Sox have been better lately, but he'll still get a lot of ownership. Well, then there's Nathan Eovaldi right there, but I'm playing Shota Imanaga. There's ceiling here to chase against Cincinnati with the wind blowing in Wrigley Field. I get it. He hasn't been great. His last start, he's coming off of an 8K start that was I put me in a good mood with him. And also I'm having to do the same thing with another pitcher that's just dirt cheap that I'm just not passing up, which is Yu Darvish at 6,100. To me, it looks like it's taken him a month to kindly get in the groove, and he was grooving in his last start, but it may just be an outlier, and he may be terrible, or he may be back. And all I know is he's a much better pitcher than 6,100, and this is a night where you could really use that savings. So I like my two is Imanaga with Darvish, but if I could get another value bet and sneak in Crochet or something, I'm totally looking to do that as well.
All right, Cheese, how about you? Who are you prioritizing a pitcher today?
Yeah, we'll start by saying Juggalo Nation in full agreement, blue and green dots on Imanaga and Darvish today. You'll notice that's me and Kirk have the blue and the green. That's the way you do it here. Absolutely.
It's the brotherhood. The brotherhood. Yeah.
Essentially, the expensive guys are better, right? Crochet, Wu, Eovaldi, maybe Peralta. I'm not sure on Peralta, but you can't just play Crochet and Wu and get Toronto bats or whichever high-end bats you're pivoting off. So I just think you go to cheaper pitchers today. And to echo what Kirk said, we have no idea on Yu Darvish, but the fact that he looked good for one start convinces me that he's too cheap at 6,100. He should be priced at 7,500 for that risk. I've also got Jose Soriano. Because I've got lineups where I can't even get up to Imanaga, and I'm going Soriano, Darvish. Just get the bats, give me the cheap pitchers and get the bats. If Crochet has the ceiling game, which he can, if he has the 40-point game, then I probably lose, and that's fine. We'll play again tomorrow. I don't really have much else to say. If you want to do on DraftKings, a Brewer stack and play Crochet and Wu, great. Have fun with that. I would never tell you not to play the expensive pitchers because they are better. Specifically Crochet, Wu, and Eovaldi. I'm just simply not getting there very much.
It's actually very easy to do, and you can still get some Toronto bets. So I think that is going to be popular.
Soriano is my highest owned pitcher by a pretty significant margin. He's going to be my number one today. I've been riding him all season long. And then I went 0% Wu just so that I could make sure I could get at least close to 30% Crochet today. So I X'd out Wu completely. I have no Peralta, 30% Crochet, and then just a little bit of Eovaldi as well. I feel like there was one other thing. On the FanDuel side of things, I feel like there's not much change, especially up top. All these prices are almost exactly the same. On FanDuel, Cheese, I just kind of feel like the only difference is you don't go cheaper than Imanaga. Would you kind of be on the same page?
Correct. There? I have a couple Darvishes, but for the most part, yeah, you don't need to go value hunting. Otherwise it's the same. The other guy I want to mention, curious if either you're playing any Ryan Pepio, super boom bust kind of spot. I'm more on the side of the Angels bats, but he is a guy that in that sort of mid-tier price range does have a little bit of ceiling if you want to spread out.
I too am more on the Angels side of the bats, but I have 20% Pepio. So I have 7 pitchers in my pool. Pepio is 6. The only one I have less of is Eovaldi. But I got Soriano, Darvish, Imanaga, Wentz, Crochet, Pepio, and Eovaldi are my whole pool.
Correct.
Kirkdiese, how about you? You getting any Pepio?
I have no Pepio. I didn't even consider him. The only one I did consider was Freddie Peralta, and that was just kind of an owner thinking that he was going to be really low owned, but he's the last guy, and I'm not playing him in my single entry stuff, but I did consider him because the Atlanta lineup. I mean, they just stink without Acuna.
We have enough likes for Spidey Bomb number 2 plus 500. Michael Bush, to go along with Pete Alonso. Keep hitting the like button. We have another Spidey Bomb coming at 200 likes. Let's pivot into the stacks here. Obviously, we have Toronto as a tier 1 stack today. They are well above everyone else, but they're also priced like it, and they'll have the ownership to match. So, Cheese, who are you prioritizing in stack today?
There's only a few teams I kind of like for pivoting off Toronto. Boston is up there. The Angels, the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Mets.
Kirkdiese, how about you?
Yeah, I ranked them Toronto number 1, Boston number 2, number 3, the Mets, number 4, the Dodgers, and number 5, Milwaukee. It feels like the same slate exactly as yesterday.
Yeah, I sort of feel like the Angels are my version of yesterday's Milwaukee, where it's, I was getting to the Coors teams, and then Milwaukee is like my other team that was significantly more than everybody else. I'm trying to get that today with Toronto, Colorado, and then the Angels as my big 3 today that I'm going with. Let's start going position by position here. Then we'll get some home run picks. We'll get some what's the word I'm looking for? QQs, questions. I'll be going to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat. Then I will be going to the YouTube chat, starting off at catcher Kirkdiese. Who do you like?
I just got the notification that JP Sears got sent down, and I couldn't be happier after last night. I could not be happier. You deserve it. Get out of here. All right, catcher. Alejandro Kirk is going to be massive, major chalk, and should be. He's betting in Coors. He's 3,700. I'm playing him. I'm also have lines where I'm not playing him. So just kind of trying to think logically about where to put him in my line. I'm set such massive chalk. William Contreras, I like with the platoon against Wentz in Atlanta. I like Narvaez for Boston, 3,400, 6th. And I know Hunter Goodman is a good play. He's just 5,700. I was all set with that. I'd rather take like a stab on like Danny Jansen, trying to get some home run upside there. And yeah, that's it.
Cheese, how about you? Who do you like to catcher?
Should have mentioned Cal Raleigh, I guess. I feel like because he hasn't homered lately, he's just off the face of the earth at those prices.
Dreadful cold streak. It's been a whole 5 days since Cal Raleigh has homered. Cheese, who do you like a catcher?
I'm not going to say Alejandro Kirk. I mean, obviously, that's the best play. But kind of like yesterday, I don't know. I don't really want mega chalk Alejandro Kirk. Obviously, play him in cash, play him in Toronto stacks. However, I'm going to have to do some things after lock. Like Will Smith was the guy I had everywhere. He was my favorite play. He's not in the lineup. And it's pretty tough to get up to Goodman or Raleigh from there. So I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. So I think I'm going to end up more Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And then cheaper Narvaez and also Danny Jansen, who Kirk mentioned at the end there. I think he's the cheap guy to go to.
All right, take us over to first base.
So I think Ohtani is better than Vlad. I don't think he is. He is. And even with the Coors Field factor and the terrible pitcher factor, I think Ohtani is better than Vlad. You can play them both, actually. And I'm on board with that if you have salary sitting around. If you can't afford either of them, Alonso and Freeman both look fantastic in the kind of upper mid-tier, we'll call it. And then I'm playing a little Michael Busch, more so on FanDuel, where he's cheaper. Andrew Vaughn is kind of the go-to cheap DK guy, but I prefer Warming Bernabel under 4K. And then you could punt all the way to Rowdy Tellez on DK if you desperately need to.
Kirkdiese, how about you? Who do you like at first? And if you can pick one, you going Ohtani or Vlad?
I'm going Vlad. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm going to do my play of the day, home run of the day. Vlad is going to homer tonight, and if he doesn't, I will streak Fenway Park during a playoff game if they make the playoffs this playoffs. So I'm going to put that out there. That's how confident I am that Vlad homers tonight. I get it. He's overpriced. He hasn't been homering lately. You pay all that money and he gets like a double and maybe a single, and you're just awful. And also with catcher last night, like you didn't even need any points from fading Kirk. You like literally there were better lineups who just took Connor Wong at 2,000 and got a bagel, but were able to get other spots in their lineup. But also at first, it's like I like the high end Shohei and Vlad, or I like the extreme low end. And I think Andrew Vaughn is going to homer tonight after he was like the play that a lot of us used last night, but he gets the lefty and wins tonight. So I like him. Abraham Toro for the Red Sox, 2,200, batting seventh. He's been struggling, but still, I think he's a fine play. And then Pete Alonso again, who just absolutely smashed, but another good spot, batting clean of 5,300 tonight. But I like him. That's it.
All right, take us over to second base. Sorry, I forgot I was the host, not the analyst for a second.
Second base, Clement gets a little bump in the order at 7 here. The cheap one is Jeff McNeil. That's a chopper knocker tonight. He's the small knocker. I don't know if everyone missed that. He gave out different sized knockers tonight with Pete Alonso and Jeff McNeil. So have to consider that strongly. Jake Cronenworth, somewhat interesting to me and cheap just for home, like just trying to home run, snag a home run anywhere I can and hope that the position busts. Brandon, did Brandon Lau, we don't have him yet, that's later, right? Brandon Lau, I think is a fine play for home run upside. Semien, 4,300 against the Yankees, the free falling Yankees. And that's it. I'll let Dave take some more.
Jeez, how about you? Who are you playing in second base today?
I don't really want to talk about second base, so I'll just mention real quick that Padres lineup just came in, and it's weird that you would trade for Ryan O'Hearn and then just not play him against righties. I don't know what they're doing. Makes me not want to play the Padres, which is not hard to not do. Anyhow, but speaking of Padres, I am fine with Jake Cronenworth because his position is just nonsense. So on DraftKings, my highest owned hitter, I think, is David Hamilton. Not because I like David Hamilton, but because I'm not willing to pay more than $2,500 for any second baseman. I mean, in a stack, sure, I guess. But I feel like what Kirk said, but like yesterday, you would have been better off playing Connor Wong and spending the money elsewhere, whether he scores a point or not. That's second base tonight. Like, I will gladly take a 0 for like Cole Young or David Hamilton. I don't care. There's nothing.
But then you're going to miss out on Daniel Schneemann.
I know it's tough to miss out on that, or the 2 points from Brendan Donovan will be nice. The Polanco might get 3 points. I mean, there's a lot going on here, but I'm not kidding. Like, I'm just punting second base. If a guy fits in a stack and I have the salary, great, I'll play him. But I'm not going to just make up names and say they're good plays when they're simply not. So just punt the position and spend the salary somewhere else.
Take your stolen bases with Hamilton and move on.
Yeah, really. If he steals a base, like that's a slate breaker at second base tonight.
Not if Ernie Clement has 5 hits again. Take us to third base, G.
So Barger, kind of obviously. And I like him enough better than everyone else that's mostly what I'm doing. Like, the other spend up guys like Ramirez, Suarez, Machado, Caminero, Bregman, to me, they're not quite close enough to him to mess around with it. So I'm just playing Barger or going cheaper. Like Caleb Durbin is fine because he's leading off for the Brewers, but I don't want to pretend like I like him either. I'm throwing a couple darts at Nolan Gorman and Willie Castro and Josh Smith, but mostly Barger.
Kirkdiese, how about you? Are you paying up for Barger or are you going elsewhere?
Yeah, paying up for Barger, but or going all the way down to Mark Vientos just for the salary. Caleb Durden, I looked into him more today, and he's got decent power and speed. So I didn't know much about him until today. Josh Smith leading off against the Yankees, and yeah, that's all only players I have.
All right, then take us to shortstop.
Shortstop. Well, it's probably Bo Bichette, but he's the first guy I'm fading tonight. And I'm playing Vlad and not playing Bichette, and I'm gonna have a lot of Trevor Story and Corey Seager. Those are my guys. And then I did consider Lindor. He's in the mix. I think it's a good matchup against Logan Allen. That's all. But you could, batting ninth, you could, if you really need savings, you could go down to like Ortiz or someone. But yeah, those are my guys.
Cheese, how about you? Who are you playing at shortstop?
Yeah, I love shortstop. I think it's not that I don't like Bo Bichette. It's that compared to other positions, there's so many shortstop to like that I am fine to fade him. Like the 2-homer game is, if you just look at his life, like it's obviously an outlier. I mean, it can happen again because I could hit 2 homers against the Rockies pitchers. But like, he's not really a big power guy. He doesn't run anymore. He's still most likely to go 2 for 4 with 2 runs.
Not a big power guy, except for when I recommend him.
Are you recommending him tonight? I need to know.
I will tell you how much Bichette exposure I have after this lineup set builds, but I think he's going to be second behind Corey Seager.
All right. So for me, Neto, Lindor, Seager, and Tovar, and Story, and then Bichette. That's my ownership. Well, that's with salary and ownership considered, of course, not just like straight raw points. Have very little ownership.
If you were playing cash, and you had to choose between stuffing in Bichette and Vlad into your lineup, which one would you prioritize?
Vlad.
All right.
Vlad is better than Bichette, and there's more, but it's more that there's more shortstops that I like. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't feel like you're giving up much at shortstop to save the money because all these other shortstops are good. It's less. It's not that I don't like Bichette; it's that I do like the other shortstops who are cheaper. And again, my list is pretty big, but I think Seager and Neto are my 2 highest owned, followed by Lindor, Story, and Tovar.
All right, take me to the outfield. I wanted to give my exact perfect timing. Roth has an update on X about the weather in Atlanta. Let's go over there, see what he's got. He says, it won't stay dry, but currently thinking is they play through light rain in Atlanta. Still can't rule out a delay. So that means if you're planning on playing Freddie Peralta or Joey Wentz, you're potentially going to have to deal with a delay. But Roth is not worried about a postponement in that one. He is feeling like they are going to play. I do have Bichette as my highest owned shortstop today. I have 24% Bichette. Number 2 is Seager. Number 3, Tovar. 4, Neto. 5, Colson Montgomery, actually. But I assume that's because I'm getting to him mostly at third base. He's not actually not actually getting to him very much at shortstop. But Cheese takes to the outfield.
Outfield's pretty great. If you're not playing Barger at third, you can play him in the outfield, but I do prefer him at third because the outfield is deeper. Varsho's the other Blue Jay I'm prioritizing. Ohtani on FanDuel, or if you're not playing him at first on DraftKings and you have money, do that. Tatis is on my board to spend up. I am playing some Cubs with Tucker and PCA. Trout Ward, Adele, the Angels in the outfield, as they say. Trout on FanDuel, especially. He's too cheap there. More Adele on DraftKings. Wilyer Abreu. I kind of like Starling Marte as a cheaper guy. I still like Loperfido down in the lineup, but cheap. He's fine. Jordan Beck, Teoscar Hernandez, Mickey Moniak.
Kirkdiese, who do you like in the outfield?
I like Chalk. I like Barger. I like Otani. I love Jaron Duran again today, leading off. I like Luke's for Toronto. If you need some salary savings, I think Yoshida for Boston is a fine play, 2,800. Jock, I mean, what are the odds he homers again today? But I don't know. Why not? 2,300. Collins for Milwaukee is cheap, 3,200. I'm out on Starling Marte, 3K, but I get it if you want to play him. The other guys I'm looking at Abreu for Boston, batting third for 4K. I think he homers tonight. And I like Teoscar just fine. I don't mind Juan Soto as a play tonight. Trying to hope that Toronto busts, but I just don't see Toronto busting. I don't know. This is like the worst team in the history of baseball. It feels like the Colorado Rockies. So, Loperfido. That's it.
I think
Trout.
I think Roth just saw that Monday and Tuesday both days lock at 7:10 instead of 7:05, and so he was like, "Ooh, better get those days off because those 7:10 locks they'll get you. They're pesky." Still got 20 minutes left here to lock, so make sure you get the likes up so we can get some more Spidey bombs. Make sure you can get your questions into the RotoGrinders live stream Discord chat, then to the YouTube chat. We will make sure we get all your questions in. They can be about baseball, they can be about football, they can be about what is for dinner tonight. And if they are about football, Fantasy Labs is your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content. Get access to rankings, projections, articles, and more from award-winning experts like Sean Corner and Chris Raybon. Fantasy Labs now has an app that allows you to get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, and line of advice on the go. Sign up now with code RG15 for $15 off. Kirkdiese, throwing it to you first. Who's hitting a homer tonight outside of your guy Vlad?
Abreu for Boston.
So you got Vlad, you got Abreu. Cheese, how about you? Who's hitting the homer tonight?
I wanted to reiterate too. It's Dinger Tuesdays on FanDuel, so you get the 50% bump up on a home run bet. And I thought the plus 360 for Vlad was not such a bad price. And you throw the 50% in there, and it's a nice bet, I think.
All right, I like it. Cheese, how about you? Who do you like to hit a home run tonight?
How about Zach Neto, Max Muncy, and a cheap little Rowdy Tellez?
We got Spidey Bomb 3 coming as soon as we hit 200 likes. Let me double check the like count here. Let me pull up some Discord. 177, so 23 likes away. Need 23 more people hitting that like button. Let's go to the YouTube chat. Let's go to the RotoGrinders live stream Discord and see what we got. Cheese, what are your thoughts on Berrios against the Rockies in a large field GPP?
I have 0. I would have less if I could. If you had 150 lineups and wanted to play a couple of them just in case, it's fine. But I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I considered it, but just not somebody that I got to either in my 150 lineups, even with a little bit of Blue Jay bias. Kirkdiese, how about you? Any Berrios today?
No, I thought about it, and then I decided not to. I just saw the reminder tweet from RotoGrinders. I don't know if that's you, TJ, behind it, or Steve that had all three of us dressed for Juggalos, and I'm the one
Yes.
with the eyeshadow on.
I don't know
What
if
is-
Steve handled the Photoshop or what, but I know it's Alan who handles the Twitter. So I don't know if Alan took that upon himself or if that was Steve.
I mean, I don't think there's
I
anything
did. I did not make a Photoshop with you with eyeliner, so that was not me. That may have
There's
been
no
Alan.
photoshopping. Why do you say photoshopping? Those
No,
are just
that was that. I was gonna say, who caught me at the the last.
I gave
Oh,
it away,
it
but
must have been. It must have been Alan Lem, our social media.
I wonder how did he get the photos of me?
From work,
I don't
and I
know.
didn't have my face paint on, so mine was digitally altered. My face paint and that one was digitally altered. So shout out to Alan for getting that done because I was embarrassed. We got there. I met up with you two. You guys were already having a great time. I got there straight from having to do a show. And so I didn't have time to get the face paint on, and so I felt real out of place. Where are we here? QQs, right? That caught me off guard. Back to some questions. Can we play Darvish in DK Cash, Kirkdiese?
You probably shouldn't, but I would personally. But
Who would
correct
both
answer
of
is you
your
probably
cash
shouldn't.
pairings be on DraftKings today if you were doing cash?
I think the cash pairing is actually to go up for and pay for two of the studs like Crochet and Woo, but because it's pretty easy to do. But me, I would probably go. I don't know. I'm not playing cash tonight, so don't even listen to me.
I would be doing two. I'm not either, but I would be doing two of Crochet, Soriano, and Darvish as my cash pitchers. How about you, Cheese?
Yeah, I would have a 4-pitcher pool to choose from: Crochet, Imanaga, Soriano, Darvish. I would have to build to see what it would be. I don't know, but those are the only 4 I would consider in cash.
Yeah, I feel like there it is. There we are. Wow, look at that group of guys.
A real man isn't scared to look, to have his face put on the internet like that,
Yeah, handsome stuff.
That's how we do it.
I think you're probably going to end up needing you Darvish and cash tonight with all the Blue Jays that you want to pay for, as gross as it feels. QQ, DK, GPP, favorite high-priced pitcher, ownership inclusive. Like, obviously, from a raw points perspective, it's Crochet. But is there anybody ownership considered you like better, Kirkdiese?
Eovaldi. I mean, he's been great. He's been solid, but these Yankee bats will strike out. So free falling Yankees. Try to get them from every angle you can.
Cheese, how about you?
Yeah, with ownership considered, it's Eovaldi for me as well.
DK, GPP, Mookie or Alex Freeland to complete my 5-3 Dodgers stack.
That's a real question.
5-3 Dodgers being the 3 or Story and Durbin both. Let's get the Grinch. Give me a reworded question there, because that I don't know what you're trying to say exactly. But DK Cash, favorite outfielder, 3K or less, Cheese.
Marte and Cash.
All right. Alejandro Kirk and Alec Thomas, or Danny Jansen and Joey Loperfido. Kirkdiese, DK single entry.
Second. Get the Jansen home run tonight, and then Loperfido solid. He's going to be tonight's Clement. Last night.
All right. Let's see here. Going to the YouTube chat. What else we got? Michaelis and Soriano on DK. No, you're absolutely not playing Michaelis, but Soriano is a great play. Crochet or Eovaldi on FanDuel, Cheese?
So that's what we were just talking about. Like, if you don't care about the ownership, like Crochet, if you do care about the ownership or just need the 800, Eovaldi's the next best guy. But like, unless you're doing everything else chalky, then just play Crochet.
I apologize to the Grinch because he worded his question right the first time and I just read it wrong. So Mookie Betts and Alex Freeland in a single entry, which would make it a 3-man Dodgers stack, or Trevor Story and Caleb Durbin to make it 3 one-offs, Kirkdiese. So you want Betts and Freeland or Story and Durbin?
I think there's just more upside in Story and Durbin.
All right. Thoughts on a Cardinals stack for DK GPPs? Cheese, are we really that scared of Sheehan?
It's not at all being scared of Sheehan. No, it's that just compared to every other team, like the Cardinals on the slate are kind of weird. I mean, I would be okay with a mini stack, like if you ended up with 3 of them, that's fine. And I mean, they're in the pool in MME, but I don't know, they're just kind of okay, but not because we're scared of Sheehan. It's just the Cardinals, just compared to some other teams, aren't great.
Lots of questions about some questionable SP2s, all directed to you specifically, Cheese. What are your thoughts on Davis Martin? What are your thoughts on Ryan Nelson? And if you can't spend up for a pitcher on FanDuel, who would be your favorite cheaper option for GPPs?
Yeah, so when I started today, I did look at both Martin and Ryan Nelson because like they're both actually kind of okay real life pitchers. Certainly Nelson is, and even Martin isn't as bad as I thought he was going to be. I just don't think it's necessary tonight. Like at some point, you're just playing too many pitchers, and it's not like Soriano and Darvish, who we're talking about, are 50% owned guys either. So if you want to be even more different and play Nelson and Martin instead of Soriano and Darvish, like it's fine. Like they are totally fine pitchers. I think it's getting a little too cute. And as far as like cheap on FanDuel, I don't have anything cheaper than Darvish at 8,100. Like you just don't need more salary than that. And you rarely need more salary than Imanaga at 89.
DK single entry, thoughts on using the Blue Jays in 2 or 3 man stacks? Yeah, absolutely. The Blue Jays are the best team on the slate. So if you're playing chalky guys, maybe try and get different somewhere else. But yeah, absolutely play as much of them as you can. DK single entry, Kirkdiese. You want Kirk and Bernabel or Jansen and Freddie Freeman?
Kirk scares me, but I think I like Kirk Bernabel better than Jansen Freddie Freeman, but I think they're both really close. So honestly, either way. But if I had to choose my lineup, depending on what else is in there, I would go Kirk Bernabel.
Not sure what the format is on this one or what, but she's straight up Pete Alonso or Shohei Ohtani.
Ohtani.
Pete Alonso.
Yeah, Steve, get him. I do love Alonso tonight, but Ohtani.
DK single entry, Kirkdiese, Crochet, Eovaldi, and Yoshida, or Imanaga, Soriano, and Ohtani?
Second choice.
All right. Wilyer Abreu or Trent Grisham, DK Cash, Cheese?
Yeah, Wilyer Abreu. Peter in the chat made my day with that comment. LOL.
11 more likes for a third Spidey Bomb. Keep hitting that like button. Let's see. Go back to the Discord, see if we got anything there. We have we're running low on questions here, guys, with 10 minutes to go. I know we do have the golf show, Drive for Dough, Drive for Show, DFS for Dough coming up shortly after this one, so we might get out of here a little bit early. Lennon Sosa or Nolan Gorman, Kirkdiese?
Ooh. Sosa.
Did we get an ATL weather update? Yes, the weather update is that there is still a chance for an in-game delay, but fully expected to play with potentially just a little bit of rain there. So all good at Atlanta. Just assume a little bit of risk at pitchers if you're planning to go there, but nothing we are super worried about. So hoping for the best there. I see a couple people typing in Discord still. Want to give them a chance to get their questions in before we skedaddle out of here, but we have hit all the questions in the YouTube chat. We are still 8 likes away from another Spidey Bomb. Come on, we got like 600 people watching. Should be nice and easy to get 200 likes. Come on, people, just hit that like button for us. Give us the people want one more Spidey bomb. We don't want to fall just short. A couple likes short. That would be absolutely devastating. Let's see. The Discord people get them in there. There we go. Kirkdiese, are you able to pull up the bats and tell us the pinch hit risk for Jock Peterson?
Yes, but give me a moment. So I'll take a next question and I'll give it to you.
DK GPP Cheese, Vientos or Alex Freeland?
Vientos.
See if we hit enough likes for Spidey Bomb number 3 with my final request. And yes, we did. Spidey Bomb number 3 plus 340 today. Joe Adele to go along with Pete Alonso and Michael Bush. Joe Adele,
Jock,
the third one.
Jock coming in at 28% per the bet, and outdone by Rowdy Tellez at 43%, and then Osuna 34% at the bottom of the line. So be careful with those guys.
Jaron Duran or Nathan Lukes, Cheese?
I mean, you would play Lukes in cash, but otherwise play Duran.
FanDuel, you want Betts and Jordan Beck or Tyler Freeman and Hunter Goodman, Kirkdiese?
I don't really like Tyler Freeman, and I don't really like Betts, but I would take I'll go Betts.
Otani and Jensen or Alonso I think probably mean Jansen. So DK Cash Cheese, Otani and Jansen or Alonso and Contreras? Neither. You need to play Alejandro Kirk and cash.
Yeah, you should be playing Kirk and cash. I mean, out of those two, I would do Otani Jansen, but it would be weird not to have Kirk in cash.
Ty France pinch hit risk. There's no way he'd have any pinch hit risk just because they're facing a righty and he is right-handed. So, maybe if the game gets out of hand or they want to bring in a specific person for him later on, but no reason to think he would get pinch hit for. DK single entry, would you go... Oh, will a Durbin, Ortiz, Jansen with a Jays 5-man be too popular? Durbin will be. Ortiz and Jansen certainly will not be popular in single entry. Jake McCarthy, okay, for a point per dollar play in FanDuel cash. No, don't play Jake McCarthy in cash, I don't think. Can't imagine why you'd want to go there. What do you think about a Seattle stack tonight, Kirkdiese?
So first of all, it's a tough. Yes, it's against the White Sox. Their bullpen is still a little bit rough. It's just a bad park. But yeah, I could see it. I mean, Suarez is going to have to come on. They got him for a reason. There's a lot more power in this lineup now with Naylor, Suarez, Julio, or Rosarina, and really hard to fit Cal Raleigh. But yeah, that could work.
We have a golf show coming up right after this. We have an early MLB show tomorrow, so set your alarms for the early slate. Cheese, last questions. They need a second base punt. You going Bruce Teodosio for the Angels or Cole Young for Seattle?
I kind of like Teodosio as a punt there.
Didn't hear if you talked about Barrios. Yeah, none of us are playing Barrios. There you go. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. We will see you later on for some golf tomorrow morning for an early MLB slate. Thank you so much for tuning in. On behalf of myself, Kirkdiese, Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, and the wonderful Steve working hard behind the scenes. We will see you next time.